We're going to be doing some more tapping today on individual issues, which of course helps us learn a little bit more about how the process works. We've come up with some physical ailments, some headaches, some neck pain, and some throat discomfort that seems to come up. So what we'll do is tap on physical ailments. Initially what I find is it's really important to, one, be specific about the physical discomfort that's occurring, right side versus left side, the sensation of the pain, where it's radiating, if it could be a certain color, what color would it be, those sorts of things. I like to explore when did it first start, what was going on in your life at that time, maybe because it sometimes can be related to that, something happens, and then the next day the pain kind of arises. So sometimes it's the emotion being blocked at some point in the physical body. Neck and throat issues is usually about communication, expressing yourself, and being confident in doing so. Headaches could be any number of things. Sometimes what people experience when they're tapping on a physical ailment is that the pain starts to move. It moves from right side to left side. It kind of shifts and transfers throughout the body. Like, no, it's not my neck anymore, it's in my shoulder. No, it's not my shoulder anymore, it's in my head. So we call that chasing the pain, or Gary Craig would call it chasing the pain. So it just be observant and stay with the physical body through the process so you can see if it moves, if it changes, and even if it changes in the most subtle way, we're going to pay attention to that. Something else I like to recommend for people is a book by Louise Hay called You Can Heal Your Life. Has anybody heard of that? So, have you heard of it? Okay. So what I'd like to do is go to the catalog in the back, and the catalog is like a dictionary, right? So you look up the physical ailment that you're experiencing, and what she has is a description of how that might be connected emotionally, and then she has, of course, the positive affirmation that you can use connected to that. And I find with most clients and with myself, I'd say about 80 to 90% of the time, it's fairly accurate. Would you all agree? Yes? No? A little bit?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Oh.
I have it upstairs.
Okay.
So we can go through it. So again, like for neck issues, sometimes it's the subconscious mind, sometimes it's the way the subconscious mind processes it and pushes it out, because sometimes it's like pain in the neck, literally, because we use that phrase in conversation, right? Oh, it's such a pain in the neck to do this. So I ask my clients, well, what's going on in your life that feels like a pain in the neck, or what's annoying for you, what's that sort of thing. But again, we can look it up if you'd like. So, who wants to start? Okay. Thank you for being brave. Okay, so we're all going to tap along with Carmela and what she's working on. If you want to focus on what's going on for you, if you want to focus on your headache, if you want to focus on your neck pain, and if you're sitting next to Carmela, so you can just be with the intention of supporting her through the process. Sometimes what I actually find when I'm working with a client is that I begin to feel and or experience in my own physical body what they're feeling. It only happens with maybe 10-20% of clients where I can actually feel what's going on. So I can, if it's in their throat, I can feel it in my throat. If it's in their belly, I can feel it in my belly. And so depending on my connection with the individual, it's almost like I'm working through that with them. So it depends. It's not really up to me. I think that's something greater that I don't really have access to necessarily. So you were explaining that you have, I just want to know where to start with the setup phrase. Even though I have this...
It's just the right side.
Yeah, the right side.
So right now it's straining.
Straining.
It becomes, in the midst of a conversation, very difficult to speak because it strains to the point where I don't know, I can't explain it.
And what would that happen every day, once a week?
Since May, it's progressively gotten pretty much every day.
Wow.
Like I'll think, oh, I haven't gotten that today, and then sure enough, it's. Oh,
is it?
No, there it is.
With a stranger, or with people you know? Is that irrelevant?
Well, it's mainly at work. I live alone by myself, so
okay.
when I get home, I'm not doing a hell of a lot of talking. Because
You're
I'm talking to
yourself?
closer to myself.
Okay.
But it's usually...
You notice it at work a lot?
Sorry?
You notice it at work a lot?
Yeah, because
okay.
that's the only time I'm either, on the phone or with someone or
okay.
at a meeting.
Okay. So we would, if you could phrase it, even though I have this straining the right side of my neck or the right side of my throat?
No, it's definitely my throat. I thought it was my tonsil, but it's
Is it pain or straining?
It's a strain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Scale of 1.
The muscles like close or something. I don't know what it is.
So you want the muscles to relax? If you could rephrase it, maybe I can choose to.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to relax, and I hope it's not nothing.
Open
I
up.
keep going like this, thinking there's a lump or something.
Yeah.
There's not.
Scale of 1 to 10, if you could scale the discomfort before we start. How much is the strain right now? On a scale of...
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, probably right now it's probably like a 7.
Okay.
7. It's okay right now, but I've had some real conversations where I did someone just walked into my office and just give you a shout back. Put down the phone, get some water, and just kind of loosen this up or something.
Okay. 7's still relatively uncomfortable though, so it's okay. It's a good place to start, I think. And you haven't done any tapping on it yet?
No.
Okay. Let's start at sore spot today.
Okay.
So you're going to come 3 inches down and 3 inches across.
Does it matter right, left?
Nope, doesn't matter. You can do right side to left side, left to right, left to left, whatever you feel like. And you're pressing, it's going to be sore or tender, and you're pressing towards your back body in a bit of a circle. So you're actually just engaging the lymphatic system, which I wanted to do for you specifically because you have extra lymph nodes here. So that's why I'm going to encourage you to do both sides, or if you're ever going to do EFT, I would just encourage you to do lymphatic as opposed to karate chop point.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Instead of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we say the setup statement, we either use the sore spot or we use karate chop. But for someone like if it's throat, if it's lymph nodes, or whatever it is, then yeah, we want to stimulate the lymphatic system to get things flowing and get things moving. And you can do this massage just in general, 3 times a day or whatever you want to do if you're open to that.
Okay.
So even though I have this straining in my throat,
Even though I have this straining in my throat,
I give my body permission
I give my body permission
to let that go.
to let that go.
Even though I have this straining on the right side of my throat,
Even though I have this straining on the right side of my throat,
I give my body permission
I give my body permission
to let that go
to let that go.
in the easiest way that it sees fit.
In the easiest way to see fit.
Even though I have this straining in the right side of my throat,
Even though I have this straining on the right side of my throat,
I give my body permission to let that go.
I give my body permission to let that go.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
Good. Inner part of the eyebrow, straining in the right side of my throat.
The strain in the right side of my throat.
The strain in the right side of my throat.
Strain in the right side of my throat.
The strain in the right side of my throat.
Strain in the right side of my throat.
Giving the body permission to let it go.
Give my body permission to let it go.
Give my mind permission
Give my mind permission
to see what it's really about.
to see what it's really about.
Under the arm, strain in the right side of my throat.
Strain in the right side of my throat.
The strained feeling.
The strain feeling.
The strained feeling.
The strain feeling.
Right side of my throat.
Right side of my throat.
I don't want to talk anymore.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Is that what it is? I feel like you don't want to talk anymore sometimes.
yeah, I get pissed off. I don't really say anything. Yeah, there's some days at work that I'm just like, I'm just going to come in, come out, and
Do your thing.
do my thing.
Back of the hand. Close. Open. Down hard right. Down hard left. Big circle. Other direction. Good. Looking to the right. Look to the left. Looking to the right. Look to the left. Good. Inner part of the eyebrow. I get pissed off
I get pissed off.
outside that, but I don't say anything.
But I don't say anything.
The straining on the right side of my throat.
Straining on the right side of my throat.
Get pissed off,
Pissed off.
but I don't want to say anything.
I don't want to say anything.
Get pissed off,
Pissed off.
but I don't want to say anything.
I don't want to say anything.
Straining in the right side of my throat.
Straining on the right side of my throat.
Choosing to let it relax.
Choosing to let it relax.
Opening up my mind.
Opening up my mind.
See what it's really about.
To see what it's really about.
Straining in the right side of my throat.
Straining the right side of my throat.
Top of the head. Maybe I can choose
Maybe I should choose
to let that go.
to let that go.
In whatever way my body sees fit.
And whatever way my soul sees fit.
Good. Long breath in. Long breath out. Give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 when you check in with the strain.
Really good. 25.
It's interesting, your comment or the thought that came up for me during the process was, I don't want to talk anymore. But when I asked you about that, you said, well, sometimes I get pissed off when I'm at work, but I don't say anything. And so if we were going to go into the chakras and what they represent, that throat chakra is communication or a lack thereof. So there's an energy here, more particularly a pissed off or angry, and I'm not going to use the word angry because you describe it as pissed off. So I'm pissed off sometimes, and I want to say something, but I don't. That's got to go somewhere, right? And that's really just being, for whatever reason, stored on the right side of your throat, which is really common. Everybody stores it differently. Sometimes when people are pissed off a lot, they actually end up with a lot of urinary tract infections or, other stuff going on too, which is another way. Like if you read Louise Hay's stuff in the back of the book, that's kind of usually what that's connected to as well. So, but for whatever reason, you're pissed off. It's the lack of communication that's happening. So I would like to encourage you to be pissed off and to, do you ever yell at anybody?
Oh yeah, I do. Probably with the wrong people that don't deserve it. I do.
So like you're upset about something, but you don't express it, and then you store it, and then someone else crosses your path, and here you go.
Yeah.
Right.
And in lieu of me saying something,
Uh-huh.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I'm not telling you I'm pissed off, but you know that I'm pissed off.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Even though, that's a sore spot, sorry. Well, it's only at a 5, right? Let's see. Even though I still have some of this strained feeling in my throat.
Even though
I
I
still
still
have
have
some
some
strange
strange
feeling.
I'm holding on to that pissed off feeling.
I'm holding on to that feeling.
Maybe I can choose
Maybe I can choose
to open up my mind
to open up my mind
and see the situation differently.
and see the situation differently.
Maybe it's safe
Maybe it's safe
to express that pissed off feeling.
to express that pissed off feeling.
Maybe even though I have this strained feeling in the right side of my throat,
Even though I have
a strange feeling in the right side of my throat,
I give my body and mind permission
I give my body and mind permission
to shift and change that pattern,
to shift and change that pattern,
whatever way it sees fit.
whichever way it sees fit.
Even though I still have some of this strained feeling in my throat,
Even though I still have some of the strange feeling in my throat,
I give my body and mind permission
I give my body and mind permission
to shift that pattern
to shift that pattern
in a healthy way.
in a healthy way.
The inner part of the eyebrow, this remaining strained feeling,
This remaining strange feeling,
this remaining feeling,
this remaining feeling,
strained in the right side of my throat,
strained in the right side of my throat,
this remaining feeling
this remaining feeling
in the right side of my throat,
in the right side of my throat,
this remaining feeling
this remaining feeling
on the right side of my throat.
on the right side of my throat.
Side of the thumb, maybe I can choose
Maybe I can choose
to let that go,
to let that go,
whatever way my body sees fit,
whatever way my body sees fit,
allowing it to soften,
allowing it to soften,
shifting and changing the pattern.
shifting and changing the pattern.
Back of the hand, close your eyes, open your eyes, down hard right, down hard left, big circle, other direction. Go looking ahead, looking to your right, looking to your left, looking to your right, looking to your left. Inner part of the eyebrow, this remaining strained feeling,
This remaining strange feeling,
right side of my throat,
right side of my throat,
pissed off.
pissed off,
I don't want to say anything,
I don't want to say anything,
so I'll just wear it on my sleeve.
so wear it on my sleeve,
I'll just hold it in my throat.
just hold it in my throat.
But maybe when I think about that,
Maybe when I think about that,
I could do it differently.
I could do it differently.
I could open up my throat,
I could open up my throat,
let the muscles relax,
let the muscles relax,
let that pissed off feeling go.
let that pissed off feeling go.
Opening up my mind
Opening my mind
to seeing a different option,
Seeing a different option.
letting my throat relax,
Letting your throat relax.
releasing that strained feeling,
Releasing that strain.
fully and completely.
Fully.
Breath in, breath out. Does anything come to mind
Yeah,
as you're tapping?
yeah. At the tail end when you said to open up my throat, like I visually had seen just something just going up that way.
Blossoming or opening.
Yeah. So
And if you had to scale it, scale it 1 to 10.
right now it's normal.
It's fine. Awesome. So what might happen is that it might come back when you're in that particular scenario or situation when you're at work. And like you said, if you're on the phone with someone and you have that opportunity, do you have an office to yourself?
Yeah.
So you can shut the door. Can you tap, or is there a window where people are watching?
Yeah. It's whoever walks by will see.
So if there is somewhere in the office that you can go and tap,
Yeah.
it'd be a great opportunity, because if it does come up again, that's a perfect opportunity.
But what if you're one-on-one and so you're sitting there with someone and you're having this conversation and physically I'm feeling all of this.
It actually
happening,
happens
it's
at the time.
happening. So
You can press and hold a point that they might not be aware of.
press and hold the point. And what are you doing internally?
You can imagine tapping. So what they've done actually is ask people to scale your number, and I just want you to imagine tapping. Don't actually tap, just imagine tapping.
Like see yourself.
Yeah, see yourself with your hands moving in front of you
Okay.
and just tapping the points. And 80% of the people find a decrease in their number with just imagining. Because remember we said last night that subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. The body and mind does not know the difference between what you're doing and what you're actually doing or what you're imagining doing. So my recommendation is, if you can't, because someone's in front of you, I imagine tapping on myself or I imagine tapping on them. So if someone's upset in front of me, I actually imagine tapping on them if I'm not tapping with them because we're in session. But if I'm at work where it's not that sort of instance or scenario, I imagine tapping on them.
So it's not the statement. That's
The reason that we're saying the statement as we go down is to help one kind of rewire the brain, which is great. But if you don't have the opportunity, most people find just imagining tapping the points calms the energy system anyway, which is what you want to feel.
Oh. Because the tapping is about calming.
The tapping is about calming. The statements and the phrases are about rewiring the neural pathway in the thought, because the next time you have that thought of, oh, that straining feeling in my throat, maybe I could do it differently. That straining feeling in my throat, well, what could I do instead? Well, I have this habit or pattern of closing it off and holding it in and then walking around with it on my shoulders and my sleeve kind of thing and not saying anything. So it's not really up to me to decide how you're going to do that differently. Your mind will come up with a much better way, or the divine, in my opinion, will come through you and find a different way of doing it. And you might find it that sometimes there's like this intensity that happens, or the problem gets worse before it gets better, because the universe says, okay, well, here it is again. Here's your opportunity to do it differently. And, you might have the opportunity to express yourself to the person that you're actually pissed off at, as opposed to holding on to it and giving it to somebody else later in the day. And in an appropriate way, right? Like, we're not talking about harming self or harming others. It's just...
Will you remind me again that thing of, you have a thought, and then this thing happened, and then you had this emotion.
Right. Most people in Western psychology believe that if we have a thought, it creates a negative emotion, or we have a thought, it creates a positive emotion. So that thought is linked to the emotion, and it is. But Gary Craig believed that the thought causes, if it's a negative thought, causes a disruption in the body's energy system, the Chinese meridians. Right? So normally what we want, if you imagine a river, we want that river to be clear and flowing beautifully and freely. If there's a negative thought, it's like throwing boulders in the river so that the water can't pass through. Right? It's got to go around the rocks, and it's very disrupted. So he says negative thought equals disrupted energy system, which is then experienced as physical pain or emotional discomfort. So if we have the thought and calm the energy system down by taking some boulders out of the river, have the thought, keep tapping to let the river flow, thought, keep tapping to let the river flow, then the emotion or physical pain isn't experienced anymore because you've taken out that domino effect.
So even if, like what you were just talking about, even if you don't get to create that new thought,
Right.
if you just do the tapping is about clearing out the boulders.
Right.
Get the flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know when you're in flow, you feel relaxed, you
Yeah.
feel good.
Right.
And you know when you feel stressed, you're like, ooh, stressed. Right? It gets more and more subtle the more that you pay attention to it, right?
So does it all come down to how then you respond to anything? How you respond to life and situations? Because it's like what you said, you have a situation, you have a thought, it's a negative thought, it then gets translated negatively, yes,
Right.
through your body, and then the outcome is, be it a physical pain or something, because
Right.
you've created sort of this
pattern.
balance, right?
Mhm.
So it really comes down to how you react in response to a situation.
Which means taking 100% responsibility for your life, 100% of the time. And there's some situations where it's really easy to react in a calm way. Like I'm calm and relaxed, so when I'm driving home from Grail Springs, someone cuts me off, it's okay. I just come from Grail Springs. I'm going to choose my reaction. They've obviously got something more important going on. They got to go to the hospital, or they're late. Something's really important. It's got nothing to do with me. But 3 weeks from now,
Yeah.
you're going to react. You may react. I'm not saying you're going to, but you might. And then you're going to be like, that stuff, how am I supposed to do that? And send me an email saying, it's not working.
Because it's almost unnatural. It's like you're bound to
right.
that.
Initially, it's unnatural.
Sad, pissed, irritated,
Feeling that you
joyful,
feel all the time.
Positive, like, you're only human, so you're
Right.
you're built with emotions, so you can't always be on cloud nine.
No, you can't.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's, and like I said yesterday, right? Like, it's important to grieve when there's a funeral. It's important to go through what would normally what we would experience in life. But what we're talking about here is a consistent pattern that's not serving you. So some people might be in the same situation as you and not feel the same pissed off feeling as often as you. That's why you know it's you, not the environment. So if I work at the hospital 2 days a week and doing social work, and if we're all in the same situation, I'm working with all the same people who all work in the same environment. But if I choose to be mindful about how I go about my day, if I choose to walk a little slower, if I choose to just be more mindful in the work that I do, I don't go home as stressed as someone who's unconsciously going through their day in a very frazzled way. Now, 50% of the time, I get caught up in the very frazzled way of doing things in the busyness of the environment. But really, it's up to you and your choice of your reaction. There's 4 stages you're going to go through. Okay? The first stage being unconscious and incompetent. So you don't even know that you don't know. So those are the people that have never done any self-reflection, and they're just wandering around in a very unaware state, and they're reacting to their environment all the time. Okay? You now have achieved this weekend your state of conscious incompetence. I am now aware that I've been reacting to my environment in a very frazzled way, or a pissed off way, or whatever my habit happens to be. Okay? The next stage that you'll move into is called conscious competence. So I will have to really practice and really focus as often as I can, make a conscious effort to be competent in being mindful, to be competent in choosing my reaction to things. Eventually, when you strengthen that neural pathway, when you strengthen the pattern, the new pattern of love and compassion towards someone whenever they're ranting and raving at you, you'll get better and better and better at that, and that new neural pathway gets stronger, and the old one begins to fall away, and then you move into unconscious competence, where I am competent at feeling love and compassion all the time for everyone, and I do it automatically. So the good news is that you are unconsciously competent in whatever pattern that you're in, because you unconsciously react that way no matter what. But if you want to change that pattern, you'll go through those 4 stages. And you're at stage 2. Some of you might be at stage 3 even. Do you see what I mean? That's how you learn anything. You go to learn ballroom dancing. You go in and you're unconsciously incompetent. I've never done any dance moves at all. I didn't even know I didn't know how much there is to learn about dance. And then you move into conscious incompetence. I am now aware that I don't know how to do any of that. And then when I learn the new steps in rumba, side together, forward, side together, back, I move in, I have to really think about it. So you're moving with your partner. Okay, ready? Okay, side together, back, side together, forward. You have to think about it, right? So it's conscious competence. When you see someone perform, and there's this energy about them that they make it look so easy, it's because they're unconsciously competent in being that way. It's such a strong neural pathway that that's just how they do it. That's just who they are. And that's not who they are, but they're unconsciously competent in the behavior. So what we're doing here is we're becoming consciously competent. And I would say I'm probably still at that stage myself. There's sometimes where I'm unconsciously competent in my reactions in a positive, healthy way. But it takes time. Like I said, it's not happening overnight. And EFT is the tool that's going to assist you when the old neural pathway fires, use EFT. When the pissed off neural pathway, the anxious neural pathway, the whatever, use EFT. And that's conscious competence. I am conscious that I just reacted to my old pattern. I'm going to choose to react differently. Yes? Until the new way of reacting to things with love and compassion, because you see people like Tiamo, who's just radiating love and compassion all the time. It's not to say that she doesn't experience, another emotion, like a negative emotion at any point in her life. Of course she does, but her ratio of negative to positive is, I would imagine, like positive would be 80 and negative would be 20. Right? You see what I mean? The goal is unconscious competence, love and compassion. Which, we're talking about like Mother Teresa, we're talking about Dalai Lama, we're talking about, because that's all they've ever done. That's all they know. And that's how I know it's possible to be that way. It's not easy to be that way if we're in our life doesn't look that way, or we're engaging with people, or there's people that surround us that it makes it more challenging to be that way. Yeah? Okay. How's your neck?
It's not like I even know that it exists right now. It's like laying down and getting up in the morning and certain positions. So It's not like, it doesn't feel like it comes and goes. It's always there, but I'm not always in a position that I can feel it.
Can you feel it now?
If I move like certain ways.
Okay. So safely, if you move it in that certain way, like you just did, give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 for the discomfort.
Like 6.
Okay. We'll stop on it. What side? Right side? Left side?
Right.
Or both?
Right.
Ah, okay, so when you look that way, it's actually the pinching here.
So what Louise Hayes would say what about the neck? Do you know?
I have to go, I can get my book, I can show you afterwards. And I don't know, but I've also heard I don't know if it was Louise Hay or if it was somebody else, but saying if there's pain in your hips or low back, it's, a pain in the ass. If it's pain in your neck, well, it's a pain in the neck. And we kind of use that when we're talking about something in our life that's we'd like to get rid of, or if that rings a bell for you, or resonates with you, if there is something in your life that a person, place, or thing that is a pain in the neck, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Having 4 teenagers. Hard to get rid of.
Having 4 teenagers. Okay. Well, no amount of tapping is going to make them disappear, probably, but
It's so true.
yeah. Okay. That's a lot of different trees. We talked about the forest and trees example. We got to tap on each one individual. We got to tap on each scenario individually.
Oh my God.
How long you got?
A week.
Let's stay till Christmas, shall we? That's funny.
How many
Let's
are
see if
boys?
we can.
3.
Oh, dear Lord.
You're 3 boys. 3 teenage boys.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you're in the right place. you have the right intention. Let's see if we can alleviate the neck a little bit. But know that, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay. Let's start on the sore spot today. We can continue to do that.
And it's so sore because you're getting your lymphatic. Why does it hurt so much?
Why does it hurt? For most of us, lymphatic system probably isn't moving as much as it could be. So it's tender, right? They're lymph nodes.
Yeah.
So
Where are you going?
it's about, if you come to where a man would knot his tie, in the middle,
Okay.
come down about 3 inches, and then come across to right or left side. Everybody kind of experiences it a little bit differently, so you can move half an inch right, half an inch left, half an inch down, half an inch across. But it should be sore or tender or relatively uncomfortable. Even though I have this pain in the right side of my neck, I give my body permission to let that go. Even though I have this pain on the right side of my neck, I give my body permission to let that go. Even though I have this pain on the right side of my neck, I give my body permission to let that soften and release. The inner part of the eyebrow, this pain, right side of my neck, right side of my neck, this pain, right side of my neck, this pain, up a little bit, right side of my neck. Opening up my mind to see what it's really about. Opening up my mind to see what it's really about. This pain on the right side of my neck. This pain on the right side of my neck. This pain on the right side of my neck. Give my body permission to let that go. One deep full breath at a time. Or whatever way my body sees fit. Opening up my mind to see what it's really about. Pain in the neck. Such a pain in the neck. Choosing to let it go. Slowly but surely. Close. Open. Right. Left. Big circle. Other direction. Good. Look side to side. Top of the head. Maybe I can choose to let those muscles relax and release. Slowly but surely. One deep full breath at a time. Breath in. And breath out. And safely, gently, surely, just begin to move a little bit and just tell me what's different or what comes up for you when you do that.
It feels really warm.
Huh. Okay. Remaining number, like on a scale of 0 to 10. Okay. Is the warm feeling a good sensation or bad?
Good.
Any emotion that comes up in correspondence. If it could be a color, what color would it be? Don't think about it, just blue. Purple. Okay. It'd be purple. And if it was an emotion and it could talk to you, what would it be?
Frustration.
And so what we're doing is just the first instant thing that comes to her mind. So
I was thinking about you laughing about the whole situation with your mom. Like, there's nothing. I know that they are who they are, and that there's not much I can do. But it's just, it's frustrating to watch them make mistakes.
yeah. Even though I have this remaining feeling in the right side of my neck. Holding on to that frustration. Maybe I can choose to let that go. In whatever way my body sees fit. Even though I have this remaining feeling in the right side of my neck. I give my body permission to let that go. Slowly but surely. Even though I have this remaining feeling in the right side of my neck. The frustration with my teenage boys. I give my body permission To let that go.
Let that go.
Fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
This remaining feeling.
This remaining feeling.
Right side of my neck.
Right side of my neck.
This remaining frustration.
This remaining frustration.
On the right side of my neck.
On the right side of my neck.
This remaining frustration.
This remaining frustration.
Oh, those boys.
All those words.
So hard to watch them make bad choices.
So hard to watch them make bad choices.
This remaining feeling.
This remaining feeling.
The right side of my neck.
Right side of my neck.
Give my body permission
Give my body permission
to let that go.
to let that go.
Whatever way my body sees fit.
Whatever way my body sees fit.
One deep full breath at a time.
One deep breath.
Close. Open. Down hard to the right. Down hard to the left. Big circle. Other direction. Go look ahead, looking right, looking left, looking right, looking left. Inner part of the eyebrow, this remaining feeling.
This remaining feeling.
Right side of my neck.
Right side of my neck.
Choosing to let it go.
Choosing to let it go.
One deep full breath at a time.
One deep breath at a time.
Letting it melt.
Letting it melt.
Letting it soften.
Letting it soften.
Letting this frustration go.
Letting this frustration go.
Boys making bad choices.
Boys making bad choices.
It'll be interesting to see
It'll be interesting to see
how it all turns out.
how it all turns out.
I've done the best that I could,
Done the best that I could.
guiding them the best way I knew how.
Guiding them in the best way I know how.
Loving, accepting, and forgiving myself
Loving, accepting, and forgiving myself.
fully and completely.
Fully and completely.
Breath in. Breath out. Nice. And go ahead to slowly, safely move it a little bit. And tell me what's different, what comes to mind, or give me a scale of 0 to 10 where it's at. It's like a 2. Has it moved in any way?
A little further down. Or maybe just the warmth is radiating down.
Nice. That warmth's a good sign. So it's 10 after 10. Is anyone going to yoga at 10:15? Yeah.
No.
But I just a few more moments. We're just getting ready.
Okay. So I would encourage you maybe to do a couple more rounds on your own. We do have to wrap up. So it's been a fabulous, wonderful weekend. I'm glad it's down to a 2. If it comes back, tap again. Notice what comes up, and I encourage you all to keep tapping. I'm open to other questions. I'll be around for another couple hours. So safe and happy tapping, and my wish and intention for all of you is to really slowly but surely change your life with this technique. So I'm open to testimonials and feedback, and I love what I do. So thank you for sharing your stories and your personal lives with me, because I know that's not easy to do sometimes. But
And you've got like the information for your tapes and your book is in here, or
Mhm.
Okay.
So EFT-DVDs.com is where you can do, it's like 20 hours of video. And then the Hidden Secrets of EFT.com is the website for my new book that's coming out. I can write those down because I don't know if that's in the handouts that I gave you, but you can link to it you can link to the DVDs from my website, carol-prentice.com, which is in the handout. There should have been a business card, and
Right.
It's on there too. So I haven't got the link up to Amazon yet. It's I love what I do as an EFT therapist, but the whole other technology side and building a website is different. So this computer, this website. Anyways,